It's like jelly. It feels like jelly. Like it looks like my brush is tapping on jelly. Like it's like Jigglypuff. No Pokemon. I'm corny for that? Yeah, I kind of am. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Annie from Any Given Sunday. I know it's been a while since I last posted a video. That is because ever since going back to work, I've been like super swamped, just like kind of juggling and balancing everything. It was all fun and games when I like launched my YouTube channel over a summer break, because I'm a teacher. And when I launched it, I like really wasn't doing much over the summer, so it was cool and it was chill. And now that I'm back at work, there's definitely a lot more to deal with, and I don't necessarily get to film as often as I would like to. However, I still post every single Sunday on the blog, so be sure to check that out if you are looking for some consistency in your life. I'm always consistent on the blog, anygivensunday.com, but I'm so glad to be coming back to you with another video on this beautiful eyeshadow you see here. I already gave it away that I think it's beautiful, so but still stay tuned to see my final thoughts on this eyeshadow look. But this is what I have on my eye, and what I'm basically reviewing today is the Jelly Much eyeshadow from ColourPop. When I initially heard it was launching, I was like kind of really excited because I have always wanted like a kind of like wet, like some eyeshadow that wasn't just straight up powder. So like but like wasn't straight up liquid. So I guess the in between a powder and a liquid like is between like solid and liquid. It's like kind of like jelly, like plasma-y thing. I don't know, I'm not a scientist. All I know is when I heard about this, I was like, hey, why not? It was $8, so I got it, and this is it on my eye. And I picked it up in 3 shades. Foxes, which is what I used today, Half Moon, which is like a purpley kind of color, and Once in Floral, but I see what they did there with Once in Floral, which is like a kind of like reddish orangey type color. So stay tuned to watch how I achieved this look and my thoughts on this Jelly Much eyeshadow. Ready to get the ball rolling. So as per usual, eyebrows are done. Face is not done. That is because, especially now more than ever, I feel like this eyeshadow is messy, so I would rather do it once I will do my foundation and my face once I'm sure that I'm done with my eyeshadow. Also, normally I prime my eyelids with a NYX shadow base that's like a little bit lighter, just so pigment can show up more. However, because 1, this is a super pigmented shade, and 2, I don't really know how the NYX shadow base would react with this, and if it would kind of like take away from the staying power of the shadow. I just prime my eyelids with NYX primer potion. So I am going to start with Played Out from the Perception palette by Makeup Shayla, and just lay that on to the crease of my eyelid. I haven't done my eyebrows in like pushing 6 weeks. I'm doing this thing. I'm trying to grow out my eyebrows because I felt like they were getting too thin again. So I've been laying off my good old eyebrow lady. Anywho, then I'm gonna dive right into the main event. For this, I'm going to be using the shade Foxes, which is this really bright goldeny yellow shade. As soon as you open it, there's this little tab that says keep me, because it's like what's keeping the jelly from drying out. When you open it, depending on how shipping goes for you, it can be like this. So it can low-key be really messy. It's super pretty, like this looks like dope. However, it's just like very messy. So as you can see, like the first issue is that this can potentially be messy, because if I'm using this lid, I'm either holding on right here or holding on to the sides, hoping that it doesn't get on my hand. So I think I'm actually just going to use it straight from the pot. When you buy it, ColourPop like suggests that you get this brush. Since I really didn't know what to expect and I wanted to make sure it actually worked, I picked up the brush. I think it was an extra like $6, so no harm done there. So I'm going to dip the brush into the pot. It's like jelly. It feels like jelly. Like it looks like my brush is tapping on jelly. Like it's like Jigglypuff. No Pokemon. I'm corny for that? Yeah, I kind of am. Once I have it on the brush, it looks like this. And then I'm just going to sweep it onto the eyelid. I'm going for a one, like I'll add a little bit of another color in, but I'm basically just going for full eyelid coverage. Ooh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Okay. I just don't want any to get on my eyelashes, but we'll have to deal with that later. Okay. Ooh. Yep, already messy, but that's okay. So as soon as you put it on, it like feels super cooling. And that's because people say there's like a lot, it's like water-based. So you feel that right away. This is what it looks like when you just like sweep it on. Can we talk about this color though? Like, can you call me for a second and just to talk about this? Go ahead and do it. Do you see this? Like, how can you not? Okay, it dries. It feels like it's drying down. So I'm going to try and get it, make sure I have everything that I want on in there. It could be the way I'm applying it, but like I'm messy. Like I'm being super messy right now, and that's exactly why I didn't want to do my foundation. This was just one sweep. This is one sweep. So obviously I don't want to just keep it like this, even though it is super pretty. I'm going to try and wait for this to dry down a little bit, because I do believe it dries down to kind of like a regular eyeshadow, but this pigment is so gorgeous. Like I'm in love with this pigment. Like, it's blinding. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry down, and then I'm gonna like go back in and like blend things out. So I'm gonna do the same on the other eye. Well, now that I have applied to the other eye, I'm going back in with Played Out to kind of like see if I can blend this out. So it is possible to blend it out with a regular eyeshadow. Like a shadow, like a powdered shadow. Finally, just to add another color, because I don't want it to just be like boom, gold on my eyelid, I'm taking my favorite like red shade shadow, which is from Sugar Pill, and I'm just going to lightly like blend that in to kind of like that in between portion where the gold and the brown meets. I'm going to finish off my eyes with eyeliner and mascara. I don't know why I'm so slow to speak sometimes. And then come back and do the rest of my face. This is the finished eye look. I obviously did eyeliner and mascara, and I applied the Lily lashes in the style Paris. So now I'm gonna move on to do the rest of my face really quickly. So starting off with the foundation. That, my friends, is the final look. Okay, so thoughts on the actual eyeshadow, which is the whole point of this tutorial. I just felt like showing you guys the rest of my look. I got it in 3 shades. I used Fox's for this one. And here are thoughts on my experience. I'll start with the cons, and then I will tell you the pros. So cons, it's super messy. Hard to deal with. You have to keep the lid, and like basically all of if you have like one of the original, and this looks really old and crusty, but if you have one of the original like super shock shadows, they tell you that you have to close it tightly, or else like the color will not be as pigmented. It'll lose some like of its pigmentation. This one is like a whole ordeal. Like you open it, and then there's like that keep me thing, that little like tab on top, and then even after you open the tab, there's like jelly on top of that, so you're like when I had, all I'm gonna say is when I was putting it away, I got some like on my fingers that like I had to then wipe off. And as you can see, it's really pigmented, which I'll talk about in the pros, but as you can see, it's really pigmented, so like it definitely shows up, and I like fully have to wash my hands before I go back to do like any other makeup. Otherwise I could end up with it like on my face when I was doing my primer. It could have been on my face. Cool. I'm trying to think if there are any more cons. It's messy. And when I say it's messy, it's like it's messy in the jar, but also it can be messy on the eyelid. So you really have to be careful when you're putting it on. It could be just me. Maybe I'm just not I know I'm not a pro, so not a maybe. I'm not a pro at putting on eyeshadow. So I know for a fact that there are probably people who won't struggle with putting this on, but for me and for anyone who's like new to this or an amateur, anything like that, it's probably going to be an experience putting on. That being said, moving on to the pros. Obviously, one pro is its price. I can't remember off the top of my head. It might be $8. Definitely not more than 10. Like for what this is, and for the pigmentation, which is another pro, this is like absolutely gorgeous. Like I'm literally just looking at my eyeshadow right now, and I'm just like, I don't think I have anything that's like this pigmented, and if I do, it definitely wasn't this cost. Another pro is that it dries down, so it's not like you have a wet eye, but it kind of looks like it's not a fully wet eye look, but it's not completely dry. So it still maintains that same pigment even though it dries down, even though I was able to blend it out with other dried powdered shadows. So it's definitely like you can work with it. Obviously it took me a while to get my brush to like actually blend it in, but it's possible. And for something that's like actual jelly, for it to be able to like mix well with other eyeshadows is a huge plus for me. I love this for achieving just like, I'm literally like mesmerized by this eyeshadow. I love this for achieving like one eyeshadow looks. It was super simple. Normally I'm working with palettes and different colors, and this was just like get your transition shade on, get the jelly much on, and then like blend in whatever colors you may want to blend in. So if you are someone who is not cool with dealing with the messiness, who doesn't really feel like having to keep the tab or the gel, like whatever, if you don't feel like this is, Nigerians, we call it wahala. If you don't feel like going through all the wahala, like the problems that come with it, like, then it's probably not for you. If you like the way this color looks, it might be worth it, sis. It might be worth it. That's all I have to say. So that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Before you go, please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Check out my blog, anygivensunday.com. Follow me on Instagram, anygivensunday, so on and so forth. All right, until next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.